everyone, my name is Rayami Picarosali, your today's reporter. So for today, we're gonna tackle another topic, which is the Progressivism Theory. But before that, let me ask you something. If you have, do you have any idea of what is it? Okay, so before we discuss it, let me show you some pictures. From those pictures that I've showed to you, do you have any idea or anything that comes up into your mind? Okay, cooperation, groupings, unity, yes, another, progress. Okay, very good. That's right, all the words are correct. It is very important in our topic for today. So, our topic for today, once again, is Progressivism Theory. So, what does progressivism mean? Progressivism is an educational philosophy which is grounded in the pure philosophy of pragmatism. It also includes pragmatic ontology, which holds that reality is an area of everyday life, personal experience. Its view is that ideas should be tested for their utility. Progressivism focuses real-world problem solving and individual development. Progressivism has also its 9 characteristics. So first is the emphasis on learning by doing. Next is the hands-on project. The third one is the experiential learning. And the fourth one is the integrated curriculum that focuses on thematic units. And the fifth one is the strong emphasis on problem and critical thinking. The sixth one is the group works and development of social skills. The seventh one is the understanding and action and goals of learning as opposed to rote knowledge. Number 8 is the collaborative and cooperative learning projects. Number 9 and the last, education for social responsibility and democracy. So those characteristics are very important to have an effective learning of the students. Okay, so for example, the characteristics number 1. So it emphasizes on learning by doing. So students will not really learn a lot of things by just listening to their teacher's discussion, but by doing something such as an activities, a group work, or something that they do. Before we proceed to the concept of progressivism, let me introduce you the person who studied this theory. So, it's John Dewey in 1859 to 1952. He's an American philosopher, a psychologist, and an educational reformer. So, his philosophy is based on pragmatism. He established laboratory school in 1896. He was the father of educational psychology. He introduced progressive method of teaching. He believed that book learning was no substitute for actually doing things. Let's proceed to the concept of progressivism. So contemporary reform movements in educational, social, and political affairs. Dewey viewed the school as a miniature democratic society in which students could learn and practice the skills and tools necessary for democratic living. Let's proceed to the educational progressivism. So educational progressivism is a belief that education must be based on the principle that humans are social animals who learn best in real-life activities with other people. The skills and tools of learning includes problem solving, methods, and scientific inquiry. Learning experience includes cooperative behaviors and self-discipline. It also includes the schools can transmit the culture of society while it prepares students in the changing world. So now let's proceed to the progressivism and the curriculum. So it should be based on the actual giving environment to the child. It must reflect his daily life. The curriculum is an interdisciplinary in nature. Books and subject matter were part of the learning process rather than sources of ultimate knowledge. Curriculum is based on students' interest. In involves the application of the human problems and affairs. So it uses life experience approach to fit the students for their future social action. So the curriculum is based on a specific group of students. So curriculum includes political, moral, social, vocational, intellectual, mathematics, general science, languages, and the integration of experiences. Progressivism includes the 10 methods of teaching. First is the project method. It is where the active participation of the students in learning. The second one is the socialized method. It is where all individuals are being gathered into a group system of interaction. The third one is the conferences. The fourth one is the demonstration. The fifth one is the group work. Number 6 is the role play. 7, debates. 8, inquiry. And number 9 is discussion. Number 10 and the last is planning and participation in the activities. Let's move on to the progressivism and the teacher. So what does the role of the teacher in this theory? So there are 5 rules of teachers in this theory. So first is the human elements. Human beings are given more importance. The teacher has to meet the needs of the pupil as good human being. So as number 2, as a facilitator or a guide. Number 3 is to determine the student's interest. Next is to involve the students in curriculum development. And number 5 and the last is to stimulate their direct learning process. The teacher who is vital in education process and having richer, superior experiences and can analyze the present situation. Teacher will act as a stage sitter, guide, coordinator, but he is not total authority, just guides the situation. Next is the progressivism and the school. So school is a cooperative enterprise. It provides conducive environment for democratic growth of the child. So there are 7 evaluation of teachers to their students. So first is the assessment by evaluation of child's project and productions. Second is the assessment by its class presentation or workshop organized by group of learners. The third one is the quizzes or oral questioning. And the fourth one is the feedback. The fifth one is the performance based on assessment. And the sixth one is the observation. The seventh one is the multiple choice question. Those 7 lists of evaluation is very important, especially for the teachers, in order for them to know or identify if their children or if their students learn something from their discussion. Let's proceed to the self-evaluation. Progressivists believe that the education should focus on the child rather than the subject matter. The students' interests are important, as is integration of thinking, feeling, and doing. Learners should be active and learn to solve problems by experimenting and reflecting on their experiences. Schools should help students develop personal and social values so that they can become thoughtful, productive citizens. Because society is always changing. New ideas are important to make the future better than the past. So as a conclusion, by understanding this philosophy of education, as a teacher, we have to know which approach can suit well to our learners' needs, despite of the good points of process approach underlying this philosophy. It is provided with the passage of time that his philosophy and concept of education and curriculum is very useful and effective to today and helping to prepare skilled and useful citizens for our society. And that's all. I hope you learned something from my discussion. Bye.